What's up? I hope you're all having a good day or night, depending on where you are or what time you're watching this right now. So, today we are finally doing this is my second Q&A video. I did another one like a while ago, I don't know, maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago. No, not 5 months ago. That's like when the channel started. Maybe it was like 3 months ago. Yeah, 3 months ago sounds right. But yeah. So today we are back with another one. So I know I made a post like a couple days ago to where you all could leave questions under it and all that, and I have literally all the questions that you all asked. I don't know how you can see that, but I have them all written down right here. And they're all very good questions. So if you left one, thank you. As long as you left a question before, let's see, the time is currently 6:42 p.m. on April 12th. So if you left a question on it before that point, then it's on here and I'll be answering it. So yeah. So anyway, thank you all very much for asking these questions. They are all very good. And yeah, so we're just gonna get right into it. And I'm also gonna try and like have timestamps. So what I'm gonna try and attempt to do, I don't know how well I'll do at it, but every time I move on to a new question, I'm gonna look at the current duration of the video and like kind of jot that down next to your name and hopefully get some timestamps. So yeah. Anyway, let's start with the first question, shall we? So the first one, let's see, okay, so 2 minutes and 10 seconds, okay. First question is from Moo, and I think you have like zeros and O's in the Moo, but it's from Moo, yeah. So you asked, or you said, I heard that I mentioned Monty Python in a video, and what's my favorite skit from Monty Python? So I've actually not seen that much of Monty Python. I've only watched The Holy Grail and then like maybe 2 other things, to be honest. So my favorite is obviously The Holy Grail. I mean, that's honestly the only one I can remember. And then like my favorite part from that movie is probably I don't know, it might be the very end where they like kind of have like the battle, and then out of nowhere it's just like a news team and like camera operators and policemen from like modern times just break in and like break it all up like it's like a Renaissance reenactment or something. That might have been my favorite part, but I also really like the oh wait. No, my favorite part is where the dude's getting cut to pieces and he's just saying, "'Tis but a scratch," and it's like not even hurt and stuff, he's just still going. That's probably my favorite part. And then it's the one where like they like get caught up in reality, and then if I had a third favorite, it would probably be like the death bunny, the bunny that is insanely evil and kills you and stuff. Yeah, those are my favorite bits from that movie, but that's the only Monty Python stuff I've seen, though. Okay, but you also asked, what is my least favorite, not my favorite, but my least favorite video that I've made. That is a tough one. There's not many videos that I've made that I really dislike, honestly. I mean, there's some that I wish could have gone better or been better, like the one where it was, whoops, I just scribbled all over the paper. That's okay, I can still read it. I mean, so there's been some where I wish it went better, like the one where I was outside. I wish cars weren't going by the entire time and stuff, and that kind of messed with things, but not too bad. In fact, some of y'all said you liked it, so that was cool. And then I guess maybe the videos where I play video games, some of those have either been maybe too loud or like those, but I mean, I was still kind of okay with them. So honestly, there's not really any that I dislike entirely. But if I absolutely had to pick something, I guess it would be the Diary of a Wimpy Kid little series that I did, because reading that book, I mean, it was fun at first, but that video, I mean, that series turned into like an 8-part video series, and it just got to a point where I just wanted to be done with it, you know? But, and like, by the end, not many people were watching those, which was okay. It was kind of just like, I had to finish it, you know? I had to get done with it. I couldn't just leave it, right? So I had to get done with it, so I kept making those videos. But it turned into 8 different videos, and like by the 4th or 5th video, I was just like, oh, man, this is rough, and I was just ready to get that last video done. But, I mean, still, even then though, I don't really dislike the video, but if I had to pick, it would be that one. But, thank you for the question. Okay, moving on to the next person. Okay, so time is 6:20. Next question. From Synthian. Right? Yeah, Synthian. They asked if I am a fan of EDM. A fan of EDM because, okay, and you're also an artist. You create EDM stuff. That's very cool. Personally, I don't, unfortunately, listen to it that often. I've heard it a lot, but I feel like you would mostly hear that stuff at like raves or clubs and stuff, and I just don't really get out to many places like that, to be honest with you. If I did, I'm sure I would be a huge fan of it, you know. But I've listened to a few different songs of it, but that's very cool that you are a creator of it. I mean, that takes some serious skill for sure. I don't really know any certain band or artist that creates it. Yeah, I can't really think of anybody's name off the top of my head. It's like those guys with the helmets. Those guys with the helmets. I don't know if you know them. I don't know if that's like enough to know who I'm talking about, but they're like Swedish or something, or some like Swedish or Russian or something. I think, and they got those helmets and they sound like robots when they talk, and it's like like their most famous song was like Better, Faster, Stronger, something like. I think, is that EDM? If so, I guess they would be my favorite because I feel like that's the only one I've heard, honestly. But it is really cool. It's cool music, you know. I just sadly have not heard a lot of it, but it's very cool that you do it. So thank you for your question, Synthian. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, 8:30. Next question from Xoopaige or Xoopaige. Favorite song and favorite genre. Okay, so this is okay. I got a few different questions about favorite songs and stuff, so it really made me think. I know my favorite genre is rock and roll, and even more specifically, it's like the industrial rock and roll, and it's like industrial rock and gothic rock. It's like my favorite genres, or those are my two favorite subgenres of my favorite genre, which is rock and roll. Yeah. But my favorite song is a song called Holy Roller. Holy, whoa, sure made a big sound there. I can never figure out how to move this thing without it squeaking like this. Feels like an old rocking chair, but it's not one. It's just loose. But my favorite song is one called Holy Roller, and that's by a band called Dead Posey, and they are extremely underrated. They're awesome. They're probably my favorite. They're my favorite band actually right now. But yeah, that's my favorite song. And then yeah, favorite genres is gothic rock and industrial rock. But yeah, my favorite my music taste it's actually been this, like gothic rock and industrial rock. It's been that for like since like I don't know, September, October now. But before that, it would change a whole lot pretty often. But now it's been like this for a while, and it's probably gonna stick like this for a while if I had to guess. All right, but thank you for your question, Paige. All right, next one is from all right, it's 10:50. 10:50. Next question. Okay, Andicapistran. I hope I pronounced that right. Some of these I might mispronounce, by the way, but Andicapistran or Capistran. What music do I like? Yeah. So kind of like I said, rock and roll, and I do like classic rock as well. I mean, not as much as I used to. I used to like only listen to classic rock stuff, but ever since I discovered like certain bands, I used to listen to classic rock all the time. So I also really like that, especially with songs by I don't know. I guess not by a particular person, but like kind of just like the most famous songs from like the 80s and 70s and stuff. Like what's a good one? Eyes Without a Face by Billy Idol. I like that one. And Californication. And People Are Strange by The Doors. I really like that one. And For What It's Worth, I like that one. And Everybody Wants to Rule the World, another classic. I really like that one. So a lot of classic rock I like. And then I also really like the like garage band rock or like punk rock and stuff like Green Day. Green Day is my favorite band for that genre for sure. I listen to a lot of Green Day. But yeah, it's kind of just like a wide variety of rock and roll for me is what I like. I don't really listen to rap or country or BTS stuff. It's mainly just a wide variety of rock and roll for me. But yeah, okay. Next question is from, let's see. All right, 13 minutes in. 13 minutes in. Next question is from Joe Bounty 8275, and he asked, "What is the hardest game I've played?" Okay, this is tough because I'm okay. I will admit this. I'm kind of. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a wuss of hard games. I've definitely come around to them a bit. Just like Dark Souls and like I don't want to play Dark Souls. I don't want to put myself through that. Okay, I've seen enough. I've seen plenty of videos and stuff to know that I do not want to put myself through that torture. Okay, I mean, there's no way I could do it. And I also tested my luck with Elden Ring, and I didn't really play that much of it before I decided, you know what, this is a bit much, because that's not my favorite type of game to play. I mean, it is, but it's just difficulty. It's not my favorite. So with that being said, the hardest game I have played and completed, I mean, there's a few options. It kind of just, because I haven't really played any games that are meant to be extremely difficult, but I have played games where there are parts of the game that are meant to be extremely difficult, like the Valkyrie fights in God of War, like with Sigrun and the other Queen Valkyrie from the other God of War game. I forgot the name. But I did all the Valkyrie fights and the final boss Valkyrie fight in the God of War from 2018, and that boss fight Dairy Queen was just... That is probably the hardest thing I've ever played or been through. No, no, no. That's the second hardest. That's the second hardest. I know what the hardest one is. Oh my gosh, it was the Chronica boss fight in Mortal Kombat 11 in the story mode. Once you got to the end of the story mode, you fought Chronica. And that was by far, oh my gosh, I spent like the entire day fighting her until I finally won. I crashed out so many times that day. And sure, if I went back now and replayed it, it would probably be a bit easier because I'm much older and much more experienced with fighting games like Mortal Kombat now. But back then, oh my gosh, it was horrible. It was so bad. I still get nightmares from it, honestly. That was the hardest part of a game I've played, and then it would be God of War. Then after that, it would probably be like maybe a few parts from The Evil Within, or maybe the pod race in Lego Star Wars, the original video game. That just, whew. 5-year-old me still, like, was so pressed by that game, or by that level, the pod race, when I was a child, when I played it as a child. Whew. Don't even get me started, but yeah, Chronica. That was the hardest part of a game. But overall, I guess I would say God of War. But for a certain part, definitely Mortal Kombat. 100%. Okay. Next question is... Okay, wait. Alright, next question. We are now 17 minutes in. Next question is from Pooper Scooper. To Pooper Scooper 22. Wow, Pooper Scooper 22. Nice name. If I could... Okay, so they asked if I could make one thing free for everyone in the world, including myself, what would it be? Okay, I gotta think about this. So, everything in the world is free for everybody. See, you gotta think economically and environmentally as well when thinking about this question. Because you could say, I don't know, cars, that would be great, but, I mean, I bet the output of, like, fuels and bad stuff for the air, pollution and stuff, would be horrible. Like, it's already bad, but it would get insanely bad. So I can't say cars when you think about it. And I can't say houses because then whatever land is still not, whatever land is still unaffected by home building would instantly get sold and bought, and homes would be built up all over the place. It would look like, I don't know if any of you have seen the horror movie Vivarium, but it would start looking like that, and I don't want that. That would be freaky. So I can't say houses. Even though I probably should, but I don't know, maybe apartments, because those are already built, and it provides more living space for people who might need it. And rent is getting insanely expensive nowadays, so maybe apartments, apartment living. Maybe I should make that free. But there's also food. There's also food. If food were free, I mean, there might be some negatives to that, but for the most part, I say it would be positive if food were free. Or maybe, oh, wait a minute, duh, wait a minute, Lego sets. That's your answer. Lego sets. I should make Lego sets free. Who needs food? Who needs clothing? Who needs saves you like $500. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say Lego sets. I should, though. I really should say Lego sets. That's probably going to be my second pick from whatever I do decide on. Okay. I'm taking too long. I am taking too long. So, I'm just going to play it safe and say close. Close, because, okay, no. There actually are negatives to that as well, now that I think about it. Like, the people who create clothes, like sweatshops and stuff, I mean, that's bad as it is. And then, talk about getting overworked. Everybody's taking the clothes, and, like, as soon as they get put on the shelves, you know. I don't know, I feel like anything I could pick would have some type of drawback, unless it was something stupid like Lego sets. Okay. I guess I'll just say food, though, because there are drawbacks, but there's way more benefits than drawbacks for food. But if I'm being perfectly honest with you and I'm being perfectly honest with myself, I would rather say Lego sets. Anyway, moving on to the next question. Okay, time is 21:43. 21:43. Alright, next question is from Kang. Okay, I'm gonna try and pronounce this. KangQ Park 7751. Sorry if I butchered that, but I tried. So they asked, what are my top 3 movies of 2024? Top 3 movies of 2024. That is very tough. I thought about this a little bit, and I guess if I had to say a top 3, I think my number 1 favorite of 2024 was Deadpool and Wolverine. That was really good. I'd say that's my number 1 pick. Number 2, I think it's gonna be Smile 2. Smile 2 was probably my second pick. And then number 3 is kind of like a tie. Number 3 is like a tie between Terrifier 3 and Longlegs. Terrifier 3 and Longlegs are tied for 3rd place. So, based on that ranking, if you couldn't tell, I mostly only saw the horror movies that came out in 2024. Plus, like, the biggest MCU movie as well. So, because, like, I didn't watch the other really big ones, like, what else came out in 2024? I don't remember what else came out in 2024. I mean, those aren't the only movies I watched that came out, but those are definitely my favorites. And, yeah, those are my picks. Yeah, those are my picks. I'm trying to think of the other movies that I did see, and all the ones that I'm thinking of, I don't like nearly as much as those other 4, so, yeah, those are my picks, probably. So, sorry if I didn't say one of your favorites of 2024, because I know there are some major ones that I didn't mention, but I either didn't see it, or I just didn't really mess with it as much as other people. Like the new Planet of the Apes movie, I think that came out in 2024, and it was just, it was okay, it was alright. And then Beetlejuice 2, I saw that. If I'm being honest, it was kind of disappointing. I mean, it was, the, like, majority of the movie was good until it got to the ending, and the ending just felt so rushed. Like, all the plot lines and storylines they had going throughout the entire movie just got, like, wiped away, snapped away, like, in an instant. Like, it was, like, nothing to worry about to begin with. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it, but it was okay. Not in my top 3, though. Not in my top 3. Okay, next question is... Alright, next question. is my perfect McDonald's meal. My perfect McDonald's meal. I actually haven't had McDonald's in a while, but I do know that when I used to eat it all the time, and I mean all the time, I really liked the chicken nuggets, of course, the nuggets. And I'd say that was like my favorite, like, dinner time, lunchtime food from McDonald's, but my favorite meal from McDonald's was always breakfast stuff. It was always breakfast stuff. I'd say the breakfast burritos are probably my favorite thing McDonald's has. But the perfect meal that I could have ever gotten was like the platter, like the entire breakfast platter where it came with pancakes and a biscuit and a sausage and some eggs, and then I would get like one burrito on the side. If you can't tell, I used to eat good. Like, too much. But that was like the perfect McDonald's meal to me. And then maybe add a McFlurry on the side to that, and boom. I mean, that was just, whew. It was good, but not healthy in the slightest, not one bit. Okay, but that was probably my perfect meal back then. Now it would probably just be like I don't know, Happy Meals are pretty decent, honestly. Or maybe just a few nuggets, or maybe a McChicken. I like the McChicken. Yeah. Alright, next question. Next question is from Maha, or Maja, 8698. I don't know if that's Maha or Maja. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know if I pronounce that really bad. But they asked, my favorite animal. My favorite animal has actually changed quite a bit. Right now, actually, I wouldn't say my favorite animal has been changing a lot, actually. It's just always been like the same top 3 animals. But now, I know for sure my favorite animal is the penguin. Penguins are definitely my favorite animal. But it used to be like a fight between penguins, wolves, and lions. But now it's definitely penguins. So, I also love dogs, of course. But penguins are my favorite. Yeah, penguins. Okay. Alright, next question, or questions. Next questions. Alright, come from moi, or moi, like, yeah, moi, 77. And they asked several different questions, actually, which is nice. So I'm just going to start with the first one here. First one from moi is my favorite ASMR trigger. That would probably be liquid sounds. I think I've mentioned that maybe a few times. I don't remember. Like water sounds or liquid sounds. Like here, I got a water bottle actually. Yeah, water sounds for sure. Whether it's just shaking it like that or spraying it, I think that's always been my favorite for a while. But I also like mouse sounds, and then I also like keyboard typing as well. I'd say those are probably my top 3. And if I were a periodic element of the periodic table, what would I be? Interesting. I'm not well versed with the elements of the periodic table. Let's just say that. I don't know, like, what is there, 118 of them? I don't know them all by heart, to be honest, but there are a few that I like hydrogen is pretty cool, or oxygen, or gold, or aluminum. Those are all pretty cool. I don't know which one I would be, though. I don't know downsize your spiders. You have got to downsize your spiders if I'm ever going to have a chance of going to Australia. Okay? Just put that out there. I don't know. I guess if I had to pick one, I would go with, I don't know, Greece. Greece is really cool. I do really want to see Greece one day. So I guess Greece. Greece or Tokyo. I'd say are my top picks. Greece or Tokyo. Yeah. Okay, and favorite subject to learn about. That's tough as well, because there's a lot of things that I find pretty interesting. And it kind of depends if you're talking about subjects in school or just like subjects in general. Like anything that you could learn about. But we'll assume that you mean school. How about that? We'll assume that you mean school. So, I guess my favorite, I really like my current history class. My current history class is really cool. So I like learning about, more specifically, world history. Not U.S. history, but world history. It's one of my favorites. I also like language classes where I learn different languages. I plan on taking one about German in the next semester for the fall. I plan on taking a German class, so that's pretty cool. That's going to be fun. But I also really liked learning about forensics as well in my senior year. So I guess I used to have a favorite. I did used to have a favorite, but now I've had a lot of classes that I've really enjoyed. Like last semester I had a music class. That was really cool. So I've just had like a lot of different classes that I've really enjoyed to where I can't really pick a favorite. But I guess if I had to pick like a top 3, I would say world history, forensics, and different dialects. Just in general, not a certain language, just different languages in general. Yeah, I'd say that's probably what that's pretty accurate, I'd say. Okay. And anything I wanted to try that I have not tried before. Anything that I want to try that I have not tried before. Yeah. I'm sure there's something. I just have to think about it. You know, maybe, see, I would say something fancy, like, what, I'm blanking on what it's called, yeah, I'm blanking on what it's called, but, fish eggs. The thing that people eat, where it's just like fish eggs, and it's insanely expensive no matter what. I'm blanking on what it's called. It's like it's not, is it calamari? That doesn't sound right. Is it? No, is it? I don't know. I can't think of it. But like that, I honestly would not want to try that. It just seems really gross to me, to be honest. To be perfectly honest, it never looked good at all. So I wouldn't want to try that. But okay, maybe it's not food though. It doesn't have to be food. So I would want to try one of those challenges where people go to a abandoned or haunted place and like spend the night there. I would want to try. I do want to try that. Like go to like some abandoned hospital or someplace and spend the night. I would do that. I would sooner do that than eat fish eggs. 100%. yeah. So that's my answer. I would want to try spending the night in in an abandoned or haunted place. Yeah. Okay. And they also asked my favorite book and author or authors. So, I'd say my favorite book. I don't have a wide range of books that I've read, but I've read the big ones like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. So I'd say my favorite book from Harry Potter was my favorite movie of Harry Potter is Prisoner of Azkaban. My favorite book was Order of the Phoenix. And then Lord of the Rings, I don't really remember. It's been a while since I read the books. But those aren't my favorites, by the way. Those are not my favorites. My favorite book or favorite little series, it was like a trilogy. It was, there's a book called The Children of Fire by Drew Karpyshyn. I think I'm saying that right. Is Drew Karpyshyn. They write a lot of Star Wars books as well, but this wasn't Star Wars. It was just like a action fantasy trilogy, and I really, really liked it. I really did. That's probably my favorite. So they're also my favorite author, probably, but I also like J.K. Rowling and J.K. Rowling for the books, by the way, because I know she's constantly under fire, I like her for the art, not for who she is. Let me be specific, just so we're clear. So yeah, and then I also like, I forget, is it Peter Blatty or something, the guy who wrote The Exorcist, which is a very, very graphic book, by the way, but it's a good horror book. Oh, then, wait. My favorite author overall is actually Stephen King. Stephen King is my favorite author. Yeah. Everybody else is after him. Yeah. Okay, and then the final question that Moi asked is any goals that I have for 2025. Honestly, not a lot. I guess it would be to go on some really fun trip this summer is one goal, and then finishing off the semester with really good grades is another. And I don't know, kind of just get out there in the world, get out of Kentucky. Okay, yeah, there you go. That's one of my big goals for 2025 is to get out of Kentucky, even for just a few days. Because I've been in Kentucky too long, let me tell you. I gotta get out of here soon, I love the place, but it's just, gotta take a step back every once in a while. And then I also have a goal of getting a tattoo. I don't have a tattoo, but I really want to get a tattoo. I really do. So those are my goals, I'd say, for this year. Alright, thank you for those questions. Very good questions. Wow. We spent 12 minutes going over those. Nice. Alright, next question. Next question is from Amari Sawyer. Amari Sawyer asked my favorite video game. Favorite video game is, well, Amari, I gotta tell you, I'm kinda surprised you don't already know. I've mentioned my favorite video game in almost every... Okay, that's an exaggeration, but I was gonna say in almost every video recently, I feel like I've mentioned my favorite game. I don't know, I mentioned it a lot. Obviously not every video, but I have mentioned it a few times. But my favorite game is Skyrim. Skyrim is my favorite video game. Like, easily my favorite video game. And honestly, I don't think it will ever get beaten. Because, like, not even Red Dead Redemption 2 or God of War Ragnarok or Hogwarts Legacy or Jedi Survivor, none of those managed to beat it. So I don't think it's ever going to be beaten at this point. And I know I mentioned I want to get a tattoo. That's the tattoo I want to get, like right here, like right there on my arm, like right here on my inner forearm or something. I want to get the symbol of Skyrim, like the dragon and stuff. I want to get the symbol that Skyrim is known for, right there. And yeah, I love Skyrim. I love it. Okay, and then Amari also asked my thoughts on the guy that is always saying I want Chick-fil-A in the comments. You know, my thoughts on that guy, man, he's the worst, man, let me tell you. I'm kidding, I'm totally kidding. He's great. I appreciate him. He's very consistent, more consistent than I am, honestly. I was more consistent when I was having, like, a daily upload. I still am, but there's been a few times where I missed a day. He hasn't missed a single video. There's not one video. I really don't think there's a single video where his comment is not under it saying, I want Chick-fil-A. I can't think of a single one where he hasn't commented that. So, my thoughts on him is that he's great and he's very consistent. And I appreciate him because it honestly, it's helpful. It is actually really helpful because sometimes when I upload a video, the comments get automatically disabled for no reason at all. It hasn't happened very much, but it has sometimes happened, and he comments that very fast. So if I don't see that comment roll in within like the first 20 minutes of the upload, then I know the comments are disabled. So it's honestly really helpful as well. Okay, and then Amari asked 2 more questions. My favorite ASMR artist and my favorite movies and TV shows. So my favorite ASMR artists, my favorite like big time ASMR artists are probably like Raffy Taffy is my number 1 favorite. Then I also like Amy K ASMR and Fred's Voice. He's really good. Emma's MySpace is also really good. And there's another one, but I'm blanking on her name. But she has like really good echoey videos. I only recently discovered her, so I can't really think of the name off the top of my head. So they're my favorites. Other than them, it's just like a mix of like a bunch of like smaller creators that I really like. And there's a bunch of them. So yeah. And then favorite movies and shows. My favorite, man, I know asking somebody their favorite movie is like one of the most simplest questions you could ask a person, but every time I've been asked what my favorite movie is, I've never been sure. I've seen so many movies that it is literally impossible for me to pick a favorite. So what I do is I always just go back to my default answer and say Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie. It might very well be, but I really don't know. I don't know what my favorite movie is. There's so many. Like, The Shining is my favorite horror But is it my favorite movie overall? I don't know. But TV shows are a lot simpler. I could tell you with complete confidence that, well, actually, no, I couldn't. My favorite TV show was The Walking Dead. But now, Supernatural is probably my favorite. Those two were like neck and neck for the longest time, and every time I rewatch them, it's been staying the same, because I rewatch my favorite shows all the time. I'm currently on like my 5th rewatch of Supernatural. But every time I rewatch The Walking Dead, it stays about the same. But I feel like recently, every time I've rewatched Supernatural, I like it a bit more. So I feel like Supernatural is now my favorite TV show, and then it's The Walking Dead. And then after that, it's probably, I don't know, Game of Thrones or something. But Supernatural is my favorite TV show. Yeah, for sure. Okay, thank you for those questions though. Very good questions. Wow, this video is going to be so long. Oh my goodness, we're already at 47 minutes in. And there's still a fair amount of questions left. Wow, okay. Well, I'm getting through all these questions, so don't worry, there's not going to be a part 2 or anything. Alright, next question. Let me write down the timestamp. Alright, next question is from Sasha2428. Sasha2428. And Sasha asked, what am I majoring in? Because she heard that in a room tour video that I'm in college. So, what am I majoring in? So, I am majoring in criminal justice. I am majoring in criminal justice because what I want to do, once I graduate, what I want to do is become a crime scene investigator or like a forensic scientist. That's what I really want to do. Because that's what The Flash does. That's what Barry Allen does. So, yeah, I want to be a CSI. And then, like I said, I really enjoyed my forensics class in senior year. So, that really got me into it as well. So, and then Sasha also asked, what is my favorite Lego set? Well, just for you, Sasha, I even brought over my favorite Lego set for this video, all the way from across my room. I had it on display, and I brought it all the way over here, just to answer your question, so. But my favorite Lego set honestly just tends to be my biggest Lego set in the moment. And currently my biggest Lego set is the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Like 1,100 pieces or something like that. And you're able to build it into whichever model is your favorite. So like whether your favorite is from part 1 or part 2 or part 3 of the trilogy, you can build it into that version. I chose part 2 because that's my favorite version. The wheels aren't bent down to where it's flying because I like it more when it's stationary like this. But as you can see in the back, you got Mr. Fusion in the back and all that. And then of course you got, there it is, the flux capacitor lights up and everything. And the doors open up like that. And you can even take off the hood and you got like the, hang on. How do I do this? There we go. You can lift up the hood. And inside you got the hoverboard. And you got like plutonium, which is how the DeLorean goes. But yeah, this is my favorite Lego set as of right now. Before this it was probably I have the Office Lego set from The Office, like, you know, The Office with Michael Scott and all that. I have that Lego set. That's easily my second favorite. But the DeLorean also came with this, just that little stand with Doc Brown and my favorite Lego set right now. It's very awesome, but to tell you the truth, if I were to get my dream Lego sets, like all of them, then it would probably be, then my favorite would probably change to, maybe the Death Star. Probably the Death Star. I've wanted that one longer than any other Lego set, honestly. But yeah, I love the DeLorean though. That's my favorite right now. But yeah, thank you for those questions. Alright, on to the next one. Gotta get the timestamp real quick. 52. 70. Alright, next question comes from Jacqueline6547. Jacqueline6547. So Jacqueline also asked a few different questions. So let's just start with the first one. Do I have a girlfriend? No, I do not. Nope, I do not. I haven't for a long time, honestly. I don't know if that's too personal to share. I don't really care to, but I don't know. Thoughts on the Chick-fil-A dude? Alright, so clearly, Chick-fil-A dude, if you're watching this, you are clearly, I even got your username memorized in my head, because I've seen it so often. It's Drenix, or I pronounce it Drenix, but that's not exactly how it is. It's like Drenix, or like DRENIXP, I think. I don't know. You didn't ask a question, so I don't have it right in front of me to know for sure, because you didn't ask a question. What's up with that, man? I mean, if you did, it would probably be if I wanted Chick-fil-A, which, if I had to answer, it would probably be yes. I kind of do want Chick-fil-A right now, honestly. You got me thinking about it. But yeah, you're clearly building up a reputation for yourself with not just me, but everybody else that reads the comments. In the Discord as well. You're also in the Discord, and I mean, you're becoming like your own. You're like a celebrity at this point, man. So yeah, Jacqueline also asked about you, or my thoughts on you. And like I said before, he's great. He helps me out. And I really wish I could get him some Chick-fil-A, but unfortunately I am not made of Chick-fil-A money, so there is that little problem and issue. So I feel like I got something in my throat, but I don't. It's weird. Okay, and then how old am I? How old am I? I am 19. I am 19 years old. 19 years old. I am turning 20. Wait a minute. Hey, that's lucky. Her next question is, when's my birthday? So I am 19. I am turning 20 on June 2nd. June the 2nd is my birthday. June number 2. June 2nd. That's my birthday. And that is when I am turning the big 20. Yeah. Alright. And the last question Jacqueline asked is, when did I start liking ASMR? That was a very long time ago, Jacqueline. Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I started liking and watching ASMR. I still remember the first video I ever saw of ASMR was ASMR Darling, and she had like those like fidget bands, or like the kind of like those like ropey things that you can fidget with and stuff. It was her video. It was like tingles for your tingles is what she was saying throughout it. It was that video she made. That was the first ASMR video I ever saw, and that was in like 5th grade, I think. 4th or 5th grade, I think. And then I started watching regular basis, like in early 6th grade, I think. So, it's been a decent amount of time since that day, but yeah, long time ago is the answer to that question. When did I start liking ASMR? A long time ago. Yeah. Alright. Next questions come from... Wait, let me get the timestamp. Alright. Next questions come from Ashtonkousgaard. I hope I pronounced that last name correctly. Ashtonkousgaard. If I were... And he asked a very, very, very in-depth and philosophical and deep question. Let me read this question. This is how he wrote it, word for word. He asked me, if I were a snail, how many snails would I snail? See, that is what we all must ask ourselves now, isn't it? If we were snails, how many snails would we in fact snail? That is like the question of the century, Ashton, and honestly, if I had to give you my full professional, like 100% honesty answer, I would tell you that the amount of snails that I would snail if and only if I were a snail, it would be, honestly, I'm gonna go a little crazy, and I'm gonna say 37 and a half snails. 37 and a half snails is how many snails I would snail if I were a snail. So, I know that might be a little bit too, like, cocky and crazy to say, but honestly, I think I could manage to snail 37 and a half snails. But obviously only if I were a snail, so. But that's on a good day. I'd say it would be on a regular basis, it would probably be closer to about like 12 snails, honestly. Maybe about 7. But yeah, that's my answer. Thank you for that very, very interesting question. Okay, next question. Let me get the timestamp. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of timestamps for this. It's gonna be awesome. I know. I mean, y'all asked so many questions. I'm very grateful for that. Very, very grateful. Alright. Next question comes from Demi. And Demi asked, what makes me, or why do I like horror movies? Because, as you said, you don't really understand, or it never really interested you, I think is what you said. Or you never really got the hype about horror movies, which is understandable. I mean, used to, I wouldn't watch a horror movie. I mean, you couldn't pay me to watch a horror movie. I used to get so scared, like, I mean, personally, I used to get very easily scared by horror movies for a while, until, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and that is when I just, out of nowhere, just got, like, I fully sent myself into the abyss of horror and horror movies and horror shows and games and books, everything and anything scary. I really got into it. So, what makes me like horror movies? Honestly, there's I could tell you several different reasons, but I wouldn't be 100% certain with any of those being the absolute reason, you know? I'm not really positive why I got into horror movies. I mean, it was just random. I think it was so long ago, I don't really remember, but I think what I did was I kind of just said, screw it, and I just threw on a random slasher horror movie, and I was like, you know what, this ain't that bad, and I just tried another one, after another one, after another one, after another, and eventually I went from simple slashers to insanely crazy horror movies like Hereditary. or Insidious. And I love them all. I enjoy the much more intense horror movies like The Conjuring or Hereditary more than simple slashers now. And I'm not exactly sure why. I think it might just be because I wouldn't say it's like seeking a thrill, like a adrenaline junkie type of thing. I don't think it's that exactly. I mean, that probably has a part to play, but it's not just that. I just think they, part of it is just for the same reason I like any other movie. If there's a good plot and a good cast of characters and a good story and just like in a cool setting and stuff, with a scary enemy or messed up villain, I'm gonna like it no matter what. And if you add a scary horror factor to it, I'm gonna like it even more. So it's kind of just a mix of like basic good writing and just scary stuff is what makes me like it. Yeah, that's like the simplest way I could put it. I mean, I could really try and put it into perspective and like really go into detail about why I like them, but I feel like if I did that, I would end up just confusing you and myself. Because I feel like I would just end up talking about it for like 20 minutes, but like not really say an exact reason as to why. You know what I mean? But yeah, just good writing and scary stuff. That's what makes me like them so much. Okay. On to the next question. Whoops. Oh, almost knocked over the webcam. The cord got hooked on the pencil. Okay. Next question. Wow, we are in big timestamps now. Over an hour in. Alright. 1 hour and 3 minutes and 50 seconds for this next one. Alright, so this question comes from Mind Focus ASMR 5. Mind Focus ASMR. By the way, before I answer your question, I've also watched a lot of your videos, Mind Focus ASMR, and you're also very, very good. I mean, very good. So, thank you for your question, and thank you for having really good content as well. Yeah. Okay, so your question is, what are my top 5 favorite songs? Top 5 favorite songs. That is very tough. Because, okay, so I know my favorite song, I mentioned this like in the beginning of the video, is Holy Roller by Dead Posey. That's my favorite song. But let me tell you this, my playlist, my music playlist is, I'm not the type of person that has like different playlists for certain occasions or for different circumstances. I have one playlist that I put every single song that I like into. It's all just in one playlist, and I just kind of sort the songs by what my favorites are or what I like the most at the time. And I got like 330 songs in this playlist, okay? And my favorites are always changing. They're always changing, like constantly. Because I'm listening to like different types of music, or not different types of music of the same genre, which I've mentioned as like gothic or industrial rock. I'm just listening to like different types of that a lot every day, so I'm adding more and more music. And it's also replacing what was already my favorites. So it's kind of hard to pick a top 5, but I do kind of got a steady top 20 where I couldn't really sort them by favoritism. They're just like my 20 favorite songs, but I couldn't tell you if I like one more than the other, you know, other than Holy Roller. So I'll just tell you what I'll just say what the first 5 songs in my playlist are, because those are like the top of the playlist where those songs are is like my favorite songs. So first 5 songs on my playlist is Holy Roller by Dead Posey, The Creationist by Curly, Living Underground by Nico Vega, Garbage USA by Mickey in the Doom, and Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth. Those are my first 5 songs right now. So, other than Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth, the other 4 are all like industrial or gothic rock songs by like female-led bands. Like, okay, so of those 330 songs, I'd say like 85% of them are by different bands, but all those bands are just like female, or like are just bands that have like female lead singers and stuff. That's like my favorite type of music right now. That's what Dead Posey is. That's what Curly is. That's what Nico Vega is. And then I've got like 10 other different bands going throughout my playlist. The same stuff. Like there's a band called Synthian or something, and that's another female-led one of industrial rock. And then Dead Posey is more like gothic rock. And then now I got some in my eye. Okay. Now it's and then there's also Curve. Curve is another one, and Conga is another one, and I don't know. There's just a lot. There's a lot. But yeah, it's hard for me to pick a top 5. Just like with my movies, it's so difficult to choose for me because I've listened to so much, you know. But those are my first 5 at least, so it's probably gonna change again within the next few days, I bet. But we'll see. Okay. So, on to the next question. Let me write the timestamp. Okay. Wow. Did I really spend 6 minutes going over those songs? Wow. Time flies by when you're having fun, you know? It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. Wait, I messed up the timestamp. Wait. Okay. Next question comes from K99Q5K. And they asked my favorite songs, albums, or artists, and then my music taste. So, I guess I'll just kind of do like a recap, basically, of everything I've just gone over. I probably should have sorted these questions a bit better on paper, but yeah. Okay, favorite genre, industrial rock and gothic rock, but I also like punk rock or garage rock like Green Day. Favorite songs is Holy Roller, or honestly, to make it easier on yourself, just give me any industrial or gothic song that has like a female lead singer and a really good band, and it's gonna go on my favorites. Like 9 out of 10 times, it's gonna go on my favorites. And then albums. Favorite album. Okay. Well, Curly has an album that I love, and so does Meg Myers. Meg Myers is another artist that I really like. She's really good. There's an album of hers that I really like. I think it's called Sorry, but I'm not positive. And then basically all of the albums and all the songs by Dead Posey I love. I mean, they only got like 20 songs, but each one I really like. I can't think of the album names and titles. I can't think of the album titles, unfortunately. And my phone's all the way over there charging, so I can't pull it up, unfortunately. But I know Sorry is one of them, by Meg Myers. And there's I kind of want to say certain titles for some of them, but I think they're just the title of the songs, not the album itself. Like Blue Monday, but that's just the title of the song. But Dead Posey's cover for that one's also really good. But there's several albums that I really like. I just can't think of the names. Sorry. And then artists, yeah, Dead Posey, Curly, Meg Myers, Smash Mouth, Green Day, The Doors, Nico Vega, Mickey and the Doom, Florence and the Machine, I think is what that one's called. I recently discovered that band. It's really nice. I really like that one. Then Isindala and Snake River Conspiracy. Snake River Conspiracy is also really. I also really like them. They're another industrial band. It's like there's a dude that plays the guitar, and then the obviously female lead singer. They're also really good. Very good. But yeah, several different artists as well. Okay. I think that answers that. Yeah, that answers that. Okay. Thank you for those questions. Man, I wish I could remember the album titles. But, like I said, all the songs that I like, I just add into one playlist. And, any songs from an album I like, I just take those songs out and put them in my playlist. So I don't know the album names, I just know the song names. That's just the way it goes, unfortunately. Okay, next one. Whoops, hang on. I keep messing up the timestamp. I gotta make sure I get it right. Alright. So, next question comes from Themidatouch, or Themidatouch. So they asked thoughts on a movie or TV react channel. I guess that means thoughts on me doing a movie or TV react channel. That is pretty interesting. Honestly, I would love to do it. I think I would really enjoy doing it, like reacting to trailers probably, or other videos. That would honestly be pretty cool. I like react channels. However, the only problem is I don't know how to like screen record while I watch something and then also myself at the same time. The only way I know of doing that is OBS Studios, and every time I've used it, it has gone so wrong. It starts lagging so insanely bad within like the first few minutes of using it for me. I don't know why. It sucks, but if it wasn't for that, I would have probably already done this idea. Well, I wouldn't have made like a whole other channel. I probably would have just made like one video of ASMR reacting to something else, like maybe other ASMR videos. I kind of want to do that. It's just a matter of figuring out how to do it without insane lags going on, you know what I mean? But yeah, Themidatouch, or Themidatouch, that is a very good idea, and I would be open to it probably. I mean, honestly, I don't know about creating a second channel for that purpose only. I'll probably just do it like every few videos on this channel, but that is a good idea. I just wish I could figure out a way to not let my computer lag every time I use OBS Studios, but I don't know, maybe one day, that would be cool. Okay, next question. Alright, next question comes from Julia Wegerson. Julia Wegerson, I think. I feel feel like I definitely mispronounced that. Sorry if I did. Julia Waggerson 5766, and she asked three questions. What got me into ASMR? So, that I know I've gotten that question before. I think it was on my last Q&A video, and I think what I said for that was, it was just like, I said it in my first video. I was just kind of sitting there the day of my first video, and I was just like, screw it. I was thinking about this for a long time, but let's finally get going with an ASMR channel, and let's just make a video and see what happens. That's just what went through my head. And I made a video. Then I went on a trip to Virginia for like 3 days up in the mountains. Then when I came back, channel had blown up, and I was just starstruck and so surprised and just so excited. But yeah, I just decided, why not? Let's just do it. That, and then also just knowing that the ASMR community is like one of the most open and accepting and kindest communities out there. So those two things is probably what got me into it the most, And my favorite channels, like I said, Rappy Taffy, Amy K, Fred's Voice, Emma's MySpace, them, and then also smaller, well, not super smaller, but slightly smaller creators like Mind Focus. I also like your stuff a lot, and somebody called Kirby ASMR. I almost said Curly, but I'm thinking I still got like the song questions on my mind. And Skaroot ASMR is also really good. But yeah, a few different channels that I watch pretty frequently. And then zodiac sign. What is my zodiac sign? I am a Gemini. I'm not really well versed in what star signs mean, to be honest. So I'm not really sure what Gemini means. I think it means like, I've heard mysterious, that I've also heard like rude. I don't think I'm rude, but hopefully I'm not rude. But yeah, I don't remember exactly what Gemini means, but yeah, I'm a Gemini. Alright, thank you, Julia, for those questions. Very good questions. Okay, we've got two questions left. Alright, let me write down the timestamp first, though, for this one. Wait, gotta move the paper down a little bit. Alright. Whoops, wait, I messed it up again. Hang on, bear with me here. Alright, the second to last question comes from Guillermo Sanchez. And he asked, is the Discord community good? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. The Discord that I created, it's very nice. I got like 10 different moderators in there. So anybody that ever comes in and just like starts spamming or just doing weird stuff, they've taken care of that pretty quickly, so that's awesome. But yeah, I sometimes forget to check in on it because I'm busy with either making videos or schoolwork or other stuff. But I do check in from time to time, and everybody there is always really awesome and really nice, and just having a good time, just checking up with each other, and yeah, it's pretty chill. I like it. It's what I wanted it to be, just like a place to just say what's on your mind and just like talk, nothing too major, just kind of chill out, and I'd say it's pretty nice. Yeah, it is indeed a good community, to answer your question, Guillermo. Alright, final question, final question. The final question of the night comes from Isabella Ronan4312. And she asked, what is my favorite Star Wars movie and my favorite Star Wars character? So, my favorite Star Wars movie, I'd say it's kind of like a tie between Empire Strikes Back and Revenge of the Sith. I feel like most people say Revenge of the Sith, and for the longest time I agreed, but it's kind of like how I am with Walking Dead and Supernatural. Every time I've seen Empire Strikes Back again, I like it more and more, you know? So I think those are kind of like tied for me as far as my favorite Star Wars movie goes. But honestly, I like the majority of Star Wars movies, honestly. Not at the same level, of course, but I like them all, except, unless you're the Last Jedi. If you're the Last Jedi, get out of my face. I don't like you. I don't like you. Sorry, but I don't. I even like The Rise of Skywalker more than The Last Jedi, okay? Anyway, my favorite Star Wars character. My favorite Star Wars character. If you know me personally, then there is a very good chance that you already know the answer to this question. My favorite Star Wars character is, and forever will be, Darth Vader. I don't care if you think that's a basic answer. I don't care if you think, oh, that's dumb, you should have chosen Dex from the freaking space cafe. I don't care if you're one of those people. I'm going with the basic option for this one. Darth Vader is and forever will be my favorite Star Wars character. He's not only my favorite character in Star Wars, he is my favorite character out of everything, and I mean everything. Like, put him against my favorite TV show characters like Castiel from Supernatural, or Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead, or Flash and Arrow, or Supergirl, or Thor from Marvel, or the Dragonborn from Skyrim, or Cal Kestis from Fallen Order, or Jack from The Shining, or Jason Voorhees, who's my favorite slasher. Put Darth Vader up against my favorite characters from literally anything else, and I will personally guarantee you, I would pick Darth Vader over anybody else every single time. Every time. He's just my favorite overall, just out of everything. So, sorry, I had to get on a little tangent about my boy there, but that's the answer. Darth Vader is my favorite. So, that was just taking a double check of my list here. Taking a second gander at my list here, making sure we got all of the questions. My hair keeps on getting in my face. It's hard to not fix my hair when I can see it right in front of me and I can see that it's messed up. It's hard to not do anything. So anyway, yeah, that was the final question. Yep, that was the final question. So this took quite a bit longer than I thought it would. Like half an hour longer than I thought it would. But that's awesome though. I'm glad it did. I'm glad you all asked these questions. I am thrilled that you all took the time and energy to ask me these questions. They were all great questions. And to those of you who like grouped up questions and asked like 5 questions at once, thank you very much, because I was kind of worried at first that I wouldn't get enough questions to make this video, but clearly, look at how long this video is. Nearly an hour and 30 minutes long. Yeah, I think I got enough. So again, thank you all very, very much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all for these questions, and thank you all for your continuous support. I hope my answers to your questions were adequate enough and good enough for you. I tried my best. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce too many of your names, like, too badly. But anyway, yeah, thank you all very much for watching. If you're one of the people who asked a question I answered in this video, I hope you enjoyed, especially. And when I put in these timestamps, I'm going to try to put, like, your username as the timestamp instead of just, like, question 1, question 2, question 3, because I'd rather you be able to, like, find when I answered your question in case you're looking for it, you know? Because I don't want you to have to scour through, like, an hour and a half worth of this video to find when your question was answered. So I'm probably just going to put your username as the timestamp. So, just make it a bit easier. And, yeah, that's about it. So, again, thank you all very much for watching. And again, thank you all for your continuous support. It means so much to me. And, yeah, that's about it. So, I hope you all are feeling much more sleepy and relaxed compared to before you clicked on this very long video. I think this is honestly the longest video I've ever done now. It might honestly be the longest video I've made. I don't know. It might, there's a good chance